Right, brought you in again because I'm on the tail end of putting these petals in around the green rosebud. What I'm doing now is putting in the 132. I've already put 131 in there, the darkest point. Yeah. I'm going to put just a little bit of 132 in here. This is solid white that I put over here, and just here. 132, and followed by 131 on that edge. Good. That's it. And just here, I'm going to put. I'll drop the 132 on the floor. Sorry about that, folks. 132 here. That's now over here. That's very, very dark, that edge there. So what I did there, I put 127 in directly into it because I wanted to make that quite dark behind the green rosebud. And 127 on there, just extra. There we are. And then down here again, strength in there. And just on this edge, following it through, I'm going to make that quite dark there, and then that fades into 132 there. That's good. By making that solid, I've made it with enough strength to get away with it. Just on this side there's the light coming from behind there, so that needs to be quite light. And everywhere else really, I think what we better do now is do a bit of blending. That's good. And in there. This will make sense to you when I come to put the finishing touches on that. I've already completed this one, and what I've done here is put a little bit of ochre in, which wasn't on the original picture, but I actually quite like the ochre influence on it, so I put it in there, and I put it in here as well. You see how pretty that looks. Okay, let's put a little more depth in, and bear in mind that we've got a green going on to that. Like that, and I don't want it to be, arty. I don't want to make it look too much like a photograph. So what I'm doing here is putting the colour in with a little bit of panache. Oh, that's a good word, Colin. Well, it probably describes it quite well. It's just a little caution to the wind sort of thing. But I think it looks quite nice when you come away from it. Okay, let's see how that looks. Still got to have some more colour in there, but yeah, you see what I mean? Now, it hasn't got any ochre on it, so I think we will put some ochre on it. Yeah, like that. Yes, I like that. Yeah, I like the contrast. We've got a nice contrast between everything there. Now this is the area that I was being a little bit bold with. And let's see how that works. Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. Now that is so nice. I won't touch that again, but that's finished. Just a little bit more strength. I'm going to use my red now, my scarlet red, which is 118, and put a little bit of colour down on this edge. You see how that really does liven that up, and just filter it through a little bit more there. It's so nice to be able to be a lot of freedom. You see, we have a lot of freedom here. We don't have to be. It doesn't have to be exactly. Yeah, see how that's really. Now I'm beginning to enjoy myself, folks. A little bit of colour on there, like that, and just blend that edge in. And what we've got to do now, oh, I like that. Sometimes you do something, you think, oh, I like that. A little bit of colour there. We do need to bring that back, so I'm just going to move it back around a little bit like that. That's got a little fluffy on that edge. So we go in with the darker colour here, because it's always the foreground or the bit in front that takes precedent over the bit at the back. So the bit at the back has to be sacrificed for the bit at the front. That's the bit at the front. And then we just put a little bit of light on that edge to lift it. Didn't quite work out. It's probably because I've got this at a funny angle, just so that you can see it. I normally turn this round. I think I've got away with that. And that's a little bit white on that edge. That's what I was after. Okay, like it. Now this is a little bit iffy at the moment, so we've got to do something with this. Now let's see what I can do with this. Make it look a little bit more realistic. It doesn't have to be too fussy. I don't have to be too fussy about it because it's going to have a very strong green rosebud in the front. But having said that, I did blend that with a blender, but it didn't work as well as it's now working. And I just put a touch of colour in there. The lighter of the two, just a touch of colour like that. And a touch of colour like that. And then try it with a blender to start with, see if it works. Yes, it does. And the other side. Does. That's nice. I mean, you can always go back. Once I put the background in, I'll probably need to redo some of these areas anyway. We've always got that to fall back on. Okay. There's a little bit of pink, I think, in here. It wouldn't be quite so bright as it is. Okay, now we can't do very much until this is in, so that's the next thing I'm going to be doing, getting my greens in. Now, what I like to show you here is that we have to think quite boldly. And normally I put a lot of cushion colour under, but here I'm going to draw this more or less in the colours that I see it. And so we've got the lightish area there, working from light to dark. We've got, that was 101. Just here, I'm going to put the centre area there. And this is 170. I'm going to put 168 in. Yeah. No, I'm not. Got the wrong colour, folks. Oh well, you'll have to forgive me a minute. I've got to find another colour. That's the one I want. 168. That was 170 I put in earlier, and I had two 170s out, so that didn't work. This is 168. And then I'm going to put 174 in. Now the 174 is in the darkest section of the green rose bud, and there, that comes out there. Now what's different about it is because not in the past what I would do if I was using any shrubbery or leaves and so on, I put the 168 underneath, but I haven't done here. I put it on top. I put the 174 instead of on top of the 168. It's gone on directly on because I wanted to make this as dark as I can get it. Okay, now just here, right in the middle, I'm just going to put in a little separation like that. Now, a little bit on the edge, 168 on the edge. Now we've got the colours in, we can start thinking a little bit more about making them a bit more natural looking. I'm using 168 now to blend these colours in with, fill up the paper. I'm going to put some black on in a second. The time is now. That gives you the very rich. So what we've got there, just to recap, 174 and then 199 black on top. That's all the colour that I've got there. And just a little touch around there. Just a little tickle going up there. And then that tucks round behind that little petal there. Okay, I'm going to bring that out just a little more. Great. Okay, we'll go back with the other colours now from 70. 168 just. And I'm going to put some 182 in. I haven't used 182 at all here, but I'm going to because I just like ochre. It's got a thing about ochre in this picture. It wasn't on the original picture I did, but you see how well it looks. Now what I'm going to do now is to put a little bit of 104 just here and there, just to brighten it up. And I think I'm going to call it a day. That's a little more strength there. Happy with that? Now I'm going to just going to twist it round because what I have to do is to just, if I can find an accurate reference picture, let's go on the outer edges of here just to make it sit a little better. And when I turn it round, you'll see I can see it a little easier. I can see that really what I need to do there is to make that a little darker on that very edge. See that? So we've got black right on that edge. And you have to contrast. Good. And I can also see that I need some little bit more ochre in here. That's it. I think we're going to call that. Oh, I've got to make that top of that just a little darker. It's a little weak at the moment. And I've used the darkest colour, so what I'm going to do now is put just a little touch of black on there, or ever such a little bit. And make sure you can see it. There we are. And then you use the red just to blend it in. And you just get that little extra bit little bit of white in there. Good. And that white travels down. You can see it better now because we've got the contrast. See where that goes, white goes down here, giving me a contrast against that petal there. And just here, do the same again, just there. It's got to look as though it's tucking underneath it, which it does. Oh, very nice. Okay, now we now move on then, folks. Now what's next? What I'm going to do first, before I start the other rose, the two roses, I'm going to put these little stalks in, just there.